Arizona got a look at how their team will flow in tonight's exhibition win over Chico State. Although two starters Zeke Najee and Devonair Dutrieve were out, Sean Miller and the players said tonight's game was a bit of an eye-opener.
You know, you want to play well, and if you play well, whatever the final score is, that's what you live with. You know, we had a really good scrimmage with St. Mary's a few weeks back, and you know, obviously St. Mary's has an excellent team, and they're always really good to scrimmage because, again, you're tested and you learn a lot. I believe the same thing holds true with what we do with Chico State in tonight's game. Got maybe more questions right now that we need answered, but that's okay. That's our job as a coaching staff, and you know, we have to clean a few things up. There's no better way to learn as a player than something bad happening to you in a game. And the one striking statistic is 10 made threes against our defense. They shot 25. We had some poor decision making. We had some lackadaisical closeouts. We had some guys over-helping. And then, you know, some of our guys, again, when you're closing out and you're not tall or big, you don't have a lot of room for error. So, you know, we want to be better defending the three-point line. Same thing, first half, 9 turnovers. I'd like to give Chico State a lot of credit. Their defense is good, but, you know, some of those turnovers we had, just bad play. But to our team's credit, in the second half, we played with 3. And to finish the game with 12, I look at that as a real positive, especially playing the whole second half, the entire second half with only 3 turnovers.
It was good. I think we had a little bit of an eye-opener as a team. We kind of got to get back in the lab and reassess some things, but we just got to – our biggest thing is we got to play hard all game long. And other than that, though, Chico State was a good team, and it was a good win for us. Simple things that can be easily fixed. Talk, communication is probably the biggest thing I would say. Most definitely, I would say the younger guys kind of get a sense that it's not going to be easy. And I think that a team like Chico State, they're a lot bigger than most Division II schools might be. So I think that kind of caught the young guys maybe a little bit off guard. But heading forward, we kind of know that things aren't going to be so easy, and we just gotta adjust and adapt as a team.
Najee was out in tonight's game because of an ankle injury, but Sean Miller is confident he will return next week. The same can't be said for Dutrieve, as he was out in tonight's game for an indefinite suspension. Both players were expected to start in tonight's game, and the Wildcats missed their presence on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we're working through that. I mean, if you put Zeke out there and Devonair, we have a lot of guys vying for opportunity and minutes and, you know, performance. You know, you have to play with great effort, and you know, it's what every team wants. Depth creates a lot of good things, and we've had some really good practices. That's why I was disappointed in our first half, because our team practices really hard, and we've had a great competitive spirit. But again, you have a starter taken away in Devonair, a second starter in Zeke taken away, and then Jamal's kind of like all of a sudden, okay, now I can play. You know, we had a kind of a funny vibe to tonight, and again, we were better in the second half than we were in the first, and it's something we can learn from.
Ira Lee got a double-double in tonight's game with 10 points and 14 rebounds. He continues to make progress, and Sean Miller points out how his maturity has impacted his development.
Ira is one of our team's hardest workers. You know, in our program history here, he's a guy that you want to have on your team because he brings it every day. Great effort, really unselfish. You know, sometimes that great effort and energy works against him as an offensive player, and you know, I hope that it's finally clicking for him, because it's almost like just slow down on offense. And tonight, he really did that. I thought he did that as well in tonight's game as maybe he ever has. Even a couple of the shots he missed, a strong drive and maybe a jump hook around the rim, they were really good shots. And he made good decisions. But, you know, 14 rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds. Thought he played like he practices, plays hard every day. And we played him between the 4 and the 5. And Ira will keep getting better. He had some of these moments last year. It's just they would come and go. You know, we want him to be more consistent, and you hope now that he's a junior and he's been through a number of different experiences that he can become more consistent. I fully expect him to be more consistent. I would say he's just overall more responsible. It's what college does. You know, it allows you to grow up on and off the court. You know, he's paid his dues. He's seen a lot of different things. He's learned from experience, good and bad. And here he is as an upperclassman. And, you know, what we hope is that he's the best player that he's been at Arizona. Tonight, hopefully, is a sign of things to come.
Saying I've gotten significantly better. That's thanks to my team, coaches. We go hard every single day. As Coach always says, honor the process. And I feel like I've definitely done that, and they've definitely helped me on that path, through my ups and downs. I feel like I've gotten significantly better. A lot, it's just being more comfortable, being quote-unquote more mature, as a junior, third-year guy. So that has a lot to do with it.
Matt Moreno has now joined me. So after seeing this team a little bit for the exhibition game, what do they need to work on before it gets real?
Well, I would have said turnovers, and Sean Miller kind of pointed that out in his post-game press conference and mentioned that they cleaned it up in the second half, because the first half there's a lot of unforced errors, and he said, I wish I could give Chico State credit for creating those problems, but Arizona just had some unforced errors, and it turned into 9 turnovers in that first half, but they got that cleaned up. I think overall, defensively, I think is where they're going to need to make some progress. Sean Miller mentioned the three-point line and how effective Chico State was from the three-point line and able to make those shots, and he mentioned their size. Obviously, I think not having Zignaji, and Devin Retrieve as well, but I think Zignaji really impacted this game. So getting them back, I think, will help as well. But overall, I think it's just going to be more on the defensive end more than anything. I really would love to see this team run a lot more. I just don't think that's going to happen as much, because I thought we saw tonight some plays on in transition and on fast breaks where you just said, okay, that's how this is supposed to look. But short of that, I think just defensively, they can't give up that many threes. And I think if you looked at the thing that Sean Miller kind of came back to and talked a lot about, it was the three-point shot. And the only way to do that is to continue to try and play defense better and improve on that side of the ball, or that end of the floor, rather. And, I think they're going to have to do that. There were some guys that kind of made some mistakes, were out of position a little bit. And he said that, the youth is to blame for that. It is a different style. It's different than what any of these guys have played in high school. And so there's going to be some growing pains with it. But I think if they can kind of figure that out and get going in that direction a little bit better defensively, I think everything else will kind of take care of itself.
So Arizona opens up their regular season here at the McKale Center with NAU. Stick with us as we bring you more updates and coverage on Arizona basketball. For GoAZCats.com, I'm Riley Holman alongside Matt Moreno.